Hey, good day, everyone, friends and family. It's good to come into your space again. This is good here today, and this morning we'll be sharing something that will help us all in our relationships. Whether married, whether in any relationship, it's going to help every one of us. So today we'll be talking about something on I'll call dealing with emotional triggers. Emotional triggers, things that trigger your emotional stress imbalance or trigger your emotions anyhow. Try to sprinkle them up anyhow. So today we'll be looking at dealing with emotional triggers and identifying them and dealing with them in a few minutes. We'll be just talking about emotional triggers. So, what are emotional triggers? Emotional triggers are, I'll call them stimuli or situations that can be internal or external that elicit strong emotional responses. Things that trigger, that bring out, that try to bring out very strong emotional responses or reactions from you, from us. Those are emotional triggers. Things when they happen, they'll be like you lose it. You're off balance. You just get off the scene of the scale of conversation or what's going on. So how can you identify this emotional when it happens? What are the things that you identify when you notice this emotional triggers? What happens? First, you discover that you have heightened level of anger. Once you're triggered, once it goes off, heightened level of anger, could be heightened level of sadness, heightened level of fear. You also discover amidst all those things you have faster chest breathing. Your breath is faster. You could have tightened heartbeat. You discover you're sweating. You discover yourself sweating. Probably you discover that once you're triggered. The moment you're triggered, either your heart starts beating fast, or you discover you're sweating immediately. You discover you're having, some issues, or hyper vigilance. You become vigilant. Once you're triggered, you discover you become, sometimes even withdrawn. You move away from the scene. You discover you're withdrawn. You move away, and you are not active again. Something happens to you when you are triggered. So identify what triggers you. Sometimes silently we neglect them, we ignore them, we leave them, we behave as if they don't exist or they just come and go. But once you discover it and start working towards identifying it is key. Identifying it is very key. Once you identify it, you can handle it and you can share it so others can hurt you with that. So identifying emotional triggers. What triggers you? Sometimes they could be you feel unloved, you could feel lonely, maybe you feel disrespected or disconnected, you feel threatened, you feel abandoned. These are the things that can cause emotional triggers that can make you move out. You feel unloved, you feel unattractive, unwanted, disconnected, there are lots that could. So I want you, even as we're talking now, can you discover or identify what could trigger? Probably when somebody says it, a thing, you lose it in a relationship or in a conversation, you spark up. So same thing happens and you feel like, why did this person say this to me? What happened? Now, if you're able to identify what triggers you, we're one step forward to resolving it, how to handle it. Remember, we're talking about dealing with emotional triggers. Remember, I told you those are things that they could be internal, they could be external, but once they happen, they trigger off strong emotional responses. And sometimes you find it difficult to control them. So identifying them, like I said, it's key. Then you also have to look at your past experiences, not the present, not what the person said immediately that is hurting you, that is affecting you. Try to recall and put your mind on past experiences, probably childhood trauma, probably growing up, or something that's been happening around you, or something in the family that goes on with the family. If you can think, when last did I react to people like this? What happened to me? Try to recall. When you recall and say, this is what happened to me, this is what happened to me, and this is what made me feel the way I feel. Identifying the pattern. Now, this happened before now. This is happening now. If you can think back and try to unwind and remember what actually made you act the way you acted previously. If it's a trauma, what happened in the past? How did it happen? How were you affected? If you can identify how you were affected or what led to you reacting like this. For example, in a family, if you grew up in a family where parents will always blame, they will always look for who is at fault, and the person gets burnt. Trust me, you will not want to be blamed for any reason. Even as an adult, you avoid blame. You don't want to be blamed. You make sure you are not blamed. If you grew up in a place where they are critical, your parents are critics, they criticize a whole lot, you react to criticism. That's what I mean, trying to trace what actually happened, what led to what, you know. And talking about the emotional trigger, there's this comedy I watched. The guy does it with Nsukka language. And when he was exchanging words, I'm trying to put this home now. We'll just be done in a few minutes. I'm trying just to put this home. We'll continue next week, God willing. And you see this guy, in the comedy, he was exchanging words with his sister. They were calling each other names and different names, foul names, and he didn't get upset. But the moment the sister said, you stole the goat, you are a thief, you steal goat, he started pursuing the sister. The sister hit the nail on the head, and that part got to him. It triggered his response. They were telling me other names, so bad names. He didn't respond. Now, this is what I'm talking about. What triggers you? Have you asked yourself what triggers you? I'm trying to bring this home. What triggers you? What is it that when somebody does it, you are off the scene? What triggers you? So like I said, try to see if there was something childhood, a trauma or an experience, or you felt disrespected, you felt not loved, you felt disconnected. What actually is it when it happens? It disconnects you. Now, if you go to that, then the next step is to start practicing self-care and self-awareness. Discover and become aware. This triggers me. This pulls me. That's the next step. Start practicing self-awareness. Each time it happens, take note. Take note. If you take note of it, you are another step closer to becoming aware. Then seek help. There are professionals that can help you if it's a trauma. If it's something of childhood you're passing through, there are counselors that can help you through. Seek help if you need. Please, I have a list of them around me that can talk you through. It depends on the area, though. Some could be, it's either addiction. Whatever it could be, there are people who are good at that area. So something that you're dealing with that is affecting you emotionally, or affecting your relationship with your children, a relationship with your spouse, or people around you that is pushing you, keeping you at the edge, trying to always make it go wild when you know actually on a normal day you are not wild. So that's what we're looking. So seek help. If you identify it, seek self-care, seek help. And another thing is to voice your need. I'm taking a pause here to stress this. Voice your need. Talk about it. Tell your spouse. Tell that person in your relationship. Tell your children. Tell the people around you. This triggers me. Talk about it. Don't keep quiet and they keep using it, hurting you, and you're being hurt. You are being damaged. You're being hurt within you. And probably you are packaging it, or you are withdrawing. You start withdrawing from the relationship. You start, moving away from what should be enjoyed or what you should appreciate, or creating good memories. So voice it, talk about it. As I identified that when you disrespect me, it gets me off. When this happens, it gets me off, it triggers me. Please voice your need. Don't keep quiet. Like I said, we'll not be taking time just about rounding this off. talk about it. Finally, create a safe space. Create a safe space where you will not be vulnerable, because what emotional triggers, what they do is that they make you feel vulnerable when you talk about them. So voicing it to somebody, seeking for help, talking about it, then a safe space with people who understand you, who understand what is happening around you, who understand, people who can relate to what you are going through, to what you are doing. Like in seeking help, you can find communities. You can find places where people talk about what they go through. You know, in this part of the world, when people talk about what they go through, people use it against them. Sometimes, yes, it's unfortunate. But outside there in the Western world, when you talk about what you're going, you see somebody who will come out and say, I'm going through the same thing. And you see, they form a community of help. Gradually, we are building that by God's grace. So when you identify what triggers you, if you can write them down, good. If you can identify them. Please don't keep it to yourself and keep damaging your life, killing yourself, shutting down your relationship and shutting. Please take note of them and seek help. Talk about them. Tell the people around you. Find communities that can help you bond well and build well. And if you need help with such communities, relate to me. I can help connect you with some of them. We are building some, and there are some already. We'll join. Yeah, you can join to find and seek help. But don't forget to identify what triggers you. So next time, you'll not be acting rashly. You'll not be responding according to stimuli without help, without care, and damaging relationships that should be nurtured and not creating the best memories that you can. So today, I want to encourage you as I round up, identify what pushes you, keeps you on the edge, makes you uncomfortable. Deal with them, talk about them until I come your way next time. Please become a better you. Have a better relationship. God bless you. Thank you for watching. I want to thank everybody who came online. Thank you so much. Comment, like, and share as we build a better community. God bless you. Have a fruitful week. Bye.